Welcome to Movie Damage, and we're so glad you decided to make us part of your day. And we've just gone back from watching the movie Jungle Book. Oh, The Jungle Book. And I have to say, we'll start on what I didn't like about this movie right now. They've changed the Disney Castle logo at the beginning of the movie. Now on to all the things I liked about this movie. This movie was fantastic. I loved this movie from beginning to end. It was a lovely movie, it really was, and it made me feel young walking out of the cinema. As I said, this was such a good movie. Everything was fantastic about it. But let's start from the beginning. Basically, we're introduced to Mowgli, a boy who's grown up with a wolf pack, and he's learning his place in the world. And basically, you got Shere Khan, the big bad guy, comes onto the scene, and he just wants to kill Mowgli. That's pretty much the plot. If you've ever read the book or seen some of the previous versions of the Jungle Book, you already know this. But, as I said, the way they've reinterpreted this movie was fantastic. It was absolutely lovely to watch from beginning to end. I have no real complaints about this movie. In fact, in some ways, after watching this movie, I wish I had kids of my own right now so that I had more of an excuse just to go back and watch it again. It was a lovely movie. And if you have kids, do them a favour, take them to see this movie. It was fantastic. Your kids will walk out of the cinemas learning life lessons about courage and friendship and loyalty and all this sort of stuff. So honestly, take your kids to see this movie if you have kids, and if you don't, go see this movie anyway. It was absolutely lovely. Okay, we'll just talk about a few of the facts, Jack. And basically, the movie was directed by a gentleman called Jon Favreau, and look, he's done a fantastic job. He really has. And it was also written by Justin Mark, based off the book, obviously, by the great Rudyard Kipling, who was influenced by his stay in India for the writing of this book. Everything was fantastic. The special effect. When you actually walk out, it's hard to imagine that this whole movie was actually filmed on a green screen. There's nothing real that you're seeing except for the voices and this young, talented child that they've got to play the title role, Mowgli. I'll just find, and his name is Neil Sethi. And as I said, he was fantastic as Mowgli. He was so enjoyable to watch him running around, having this absolute great adventure. As I said, I walked out feeling like a kid again. I really did. This was lovely to watch. As I said, I have no real bad things to say about this movie, I'll be honest. For me, it was such an enjoyable experience from beginning to end. Thinking about it, even nitpicking this movie, there's nothing to nitpick. It was such a magical experience, from the way they've done all the animals, to the concept, to the screenwriting, to the, as I said, everything was fantastic in this movie. And as I said, it's hard to actually do a review for a movie which you have so little to complain about. Now, some of the voices in this movie, such as Bill Murray, who played Baloo the Bear, was very charming. Very, very charming. And I'm a big fan of Bill Murray. So. Then you had Ben Kingsley, who played Bagheera, the panther. Gravitas, it really was. These voices just added to the movie. Scarlett Johansson as the snake. What was the snake's name? Car. How could I forget that? Car. Everything was lovely. It really was. So as I said, my recommendation, if you haven't seen this movie, go out and see it. If you've got kids, don't deprive your children of the experience of watching this movie. In fact, I'll be honest with you right now, the people who are going to probably dislike this movie in the long run are people who've got parents, and when they've bought it on DVD, they're going to be sick and tired of the kids putting it on repeat. But that's the only thing I can think of people actually disliking this movie. Another great person was Christopher Walken, who played King Louis. And it was fantastic the way they've done King Louis. It was a bit bigger than I thought he was going to be, but if you see in the previews, you sort of know it just by seeing the arm coming out of the castle how big it was going to be. As I said, I have no complaints about this movie. It was charming, it was enjoyable, it made me feel like a kid again. It was great. It really was fantastic. I'm going to give this movie a 9.5 out of 10, and part of me feels like kicking myself because I want to give this a 10. I really do, but I'm going to stick with a 9.5. It was a lovely movie. Do yourself a favour, check it out. So that's my review on The Jungle Book. I hope you liked it. If you did, press a like or subscribe button, and check us out next time if you feel so inclined. Until then, peace out.